Hi, this is Amy Romeo from the jewelry making and craft blog amyromeo.com, and on this channel I like to share fun and easy jewelry making and craft projects. Today in this video I have a really fun tutorial for you using faux leather heat transfer vinyl and a Cricut. I'll be showing you how to make summer popsicle earrings. They're really fun and I have a couple different design options for you that I think you're going to love. So if you're ready to dive in and learn how to make this project using your Cricut, let's get started. Let's go over the tools and materials I'll be using to make this really cute summer popsicle keychain. So this is one of 3 designs. I'm calling this one summer. This one is a patriotic popsicle, and then of course the watermelon. And you'll be able to choose which of these you'd like to make. I have them all available, but I will show you this one first, and then just keep in mind that they're all made to cut the same way and be assembled the same way. So even though I'm showing you this one, as you follow along, when you're familiar with how this one works, then you'll be able to make these 2 as well. So I'll be using the Cricut Maker to cut this project, but you could use any of the 5 current Cricut machines because we are using that standard 5-point blade that comes on both the Makers, both of the Explore machines, and the Cricut Joy. I'll be using the purple strong grit mat to cut my faux leather, the green standard grit mat to cut my vinyl, and if you're using the Cricut Joy, there is no purple mat, so you can just use the little green Joy size mat and that will work just fine. The keychain is made up of faux leather on the bottom, so this one has a pink faux leather base. You can use any colors you'd like, but I'm using some pink faux leather for the bottom. This comes on a roll from Amazon. You can buy faux leather in rolls and in sheets. You can buy prints and patterns. It's really up to you. I'll have links to all of the materials and everywhere that I've purchased these items from in the description for you. Then on top of the faux leather, we have 3 different kinds of heat transfer vinyl. So there's some tan for the popsicle stick. There's sort of a light pink, which is that detail in the popsicle. And then there is some glitter heat transfer vinyl. Again, use your choice of colors, your choice of materials. But I have my heat transfer vinyls here ready to go. Then to press the heat transfer vinyl onto the faux leather, I'll use my Easy Press Mini set on low. You could also use a regular Easy Press at 265 degrees. If you're using a large traditional clamshell style heat press, you'll want to do some testing with some faux leather to get the right amount of pressure, because too much pressure can flatten out your faux leather. Then to glue the keychain, I'll be using some Fabri-Tac glue. You can use any good fabric glue or any good craft glue like the Barely Art glue. You're looking for a nice smooth glue that lays out very evenly and it can be spreadable without any lumps or bumps. So E6000, while that's a great craft glue, I don't recommend using it for this project unless you can use a craft stick or a popsicle stick and really spread it out nicely. Some general tools we'll be using. I'll be using some blue painter's tape to help me tape down my faux leather. I'll be using some jewelry making pliers to attach an optional tassel. I'm using a weeding tool. You can use a hook weeding tool or a pin pen. And then I'll be using some craft scissors. I also like these little detail 4-inch curved scissors. These are great for trimming the edges of faux leather. Then for the heat pressing, you'll want to have a heat pressing pad or something to protect your surface. And then a little cover sheet. This is a Teflon sheet that I've cut down to a smaller size. You could also use butcher paper or parchment paper. Then the key ring I'm using is a 1 1/4 inch split ring key ring. I buy these on Amazon. They're available in gold tone and silver tone. And then I'll be using a little jump ring. This is a 10mm size, but you could go a little bigger if you wanted to. So I have a silver key ring, a silver jump ring, and then I will be adding an optional tassel. These are also from Amazon. They're faux suede and they come in all different colors and sizes. Just make sure you're matching up the metal color of your keyring and jump ring with the metal color of the top of your tassel. So let's hop into how to get the SVG, and then I'll show you how to get the mat set up in Design Space, and we'll start to assemble our keychain. So to make this project, you'll want to get the SVG for the keychain from my SVG shop. I have hundreds of SVGs in my shop for keychains and earrings. At the time I'm recording this, I don't have the SVG for this project in my shop yet, but by the time you're watching this video, it will be there. You can click on the link here on the screen or get the link in the description. It'll bring you to a product page, just like my taco earrings SVG, and you'll see that you can either choose a personal use version or you can choose a small commercial use version, which gives you a commercial use license to sell physical products made from my designs. Then you'll check out and you'll receive an email and you will download the SVG folder. The folder will be zipped and you will need to unzip it before you can upload the unzipped SVG file to Cricut Design Space. So starting with a blank canvas in Cricut Design Space, you'll click on Upload and then Upload Image, and you'll browse to where the unzipped SVG file for this project is. You'll see that I have the set of 3 popsicles available, and I also have each popsicle design available individually. So I'll be showing you the set of 3. I'll click on it to highlight it and then click Add to Canvas. And I'll be showing you how to cut this pink one today. Of course, you can cut it from any colors you like, but I did want to show you all 3 on the canvas to show you that they are essentially designed and they will cut and be made the same way. Let me first ungroup here so I can show you some of the separate layers, and I'll show you with the patriotic version. So we have 4 layers. The bottom layer will cut from white faux leather so that you get this white popping through with the star in between the stripes. The same is true for the watermelon. The base of this is white faux leather, and then the accents are heat transfer vinyl applied on top. So this will cut from white faux leather, and then these 3 layers will cut from the heat transfer vinyl of your choice. On this popsicle, the base is actually pink or a colored faux leather of your choice. The setup is the same, where the layers here are vinyl, the little tab for the popsicle stick, and then the stripes. So they all will cut the same way, they just look different on your canvas and Design Space. So I'm going to delete these because I only want to cut this one. And I wanted to mention, if you are cutting this project with the Cricut Joy, if you have the smaller mat, then you'll need to resize this down a little bit so it will fit on your mat. You can also cut this on the Joy using the long 12-inch mat if you have that. So I'm ready to cut this project. I'll go ahead and click the Make It button. And I'm cutting my material on a mat. And the first thing I want to do is click on every mat and click the mirror toggle on. And that's because faux leather and heat transfer vinyl cut in reverse. So we need to mirror each of our mats so they will cut in reverse to match the material type. If you are using faux leather and permanent vinyl for this project, then you would not mirror the vinyl mats because permanent vinyl does not cut in reverse. So now I'll just click back up, and what I want to do is go through each mat, and I want to drag my shapes away from the edges, the top and the left side, and also away from each other a little bit. This is going to help when we're cutting. So I'll just drag each one of them apart. As I'm doing this, I'm also making a note of what size vinyl I can cut and place it on my mat to cut. This is a great way to use vinyl scraps as well. So for example, here, if I have a vinyl scrap in light pink that's 3.5 inches wide and 2 inches tall, it will work for this layer. I'll click back here. So this is our faux leather layer, and it's important, again, pull it away from the top and the sides, and that's because I'll be using blue painter's tape to tape this down to my mat, and I want to allow a little space for that. So here, looks like I'll need a piece of faux leather about 3 inches wide and about 8.5 inches tall. So I'll click the Continue button. And the material setting I use to cut faux leather is called Faux Leather Paper Thin. And if you don't have this setting bookmarked or saved as a favorite like I do, you can click on Browse All Materials and search for it. If you're using the Explore Air 2, you'll need to turn your dial to Custom before you can search for this setting. So Faux Leather Paper Thin, and then the pressure I use is More Pressure. For these vinyl mats, you'll want to use the cut setting recommended by the manufacturer for your vinyl type. So every vinyl type and brand, the manufacturer has a recommended cut setting for you. You'll want to know what that is, or you might already have favorite vinyl settings that you use. Me personally, I'll be using some regular heat transfer vinyl, Caesar Easy Weed, and I cut that with either the vinyl setting or the washi sheet setting. And then the glitter heat transfer vinyl, I'm using the Caesar brand. It's a little on the thick side. I use the glitter vinyl setting with default pressure, and I generally repeat the cut one time. But let's go ahead and get started cutting out the faux leather mat. Then we'll cut our vinyl mats, and I'll show you how to assemble the keychain. So I've already gone ahead and trimmed all of my materials down to those sizes I noted in the mat preview screen. I have my vinyl pieces here and my faux leather. So I'm going to place the faux leather pretty side down on my purple strong grip mat, press it down all over, and then tape it down on all sides with blue painter's tape. I already have my material setting of faux leather paper thin ready to go, so we'll just go ahead and load the mat into the machine and begin the cut. Once the cut is complete, before unloading the mat, use a sharp weeding tool and just check to see if the cut went all the way through. If it didn't, you can press the cut button again as long as you haven't unloaded the mat. On the Cricut Joy, you can rerun the cut by pressing the rerun button on your screen in Design Space. This looks pretty good, so I'll go ahead and unload the mat. And I'll remove my popsicle shapes. And this works as a fold over keychain. We'll be folding over both parts of the popsicles and putting the key ring here with the tassel. This is the glitter mat. This is that Caesar glitter, and I like to cut it with the glitter vinyl setting, as I mentioned, default pressure, and because it's thick, I repeat the cut one time. If you're using regular glitter vinyl, you probably won't need to repeat the cut, but I did want to mention that that's something that I really like to do for this material. So I've gone ahead and weeded out all the excess vinyl from my vinyl mats, and I'm left with the shapes for each side of the popsicle. I've gone ahead and trimmed them apart from each other, but I've still left a nice healthy amount of the clear cover sheet, and that's going to help us keep from getting little indentations from cut lines in our faux leather. So I have my Easy Press Mini set on the low setting, which is the one green line. Again, if you're using a regular Easy Press, you can set it to 265 degrees. So on my blog, I have a written tutorial for this project, and I also have what's called a layering guide. It's a graphic that shows the different layers for these projects and which ones to press first. So I really recommend you go check that out. I'll leave the link for you here and also in the description. So the first layer that we're going to place is the glitter, or the top layer here, so the sort of drip. And that's because this little piece, the lines, will fit inside these grooves. Without this piece in position, we won't know exactly where to place this layer. So that's why a layering guide is important, or you can watch this video and see the steps here. So I'm just placing down my vinyl in position, covering with my little Teflon sheet, and I'm going to press with the Easy Press Mini for about 10 seconds. If you're using a regular Easy Press, you don't need to move it like I am. You can just set it down. So I'm going to hold the faux leather flat to the table here, and I'm just going to peel back the clear cover sheet. If when you're peeling the vinyl lifts up, just place the cover sheet right back down and repeat the pressing. Now we'll find our little layer here with the stripes, and this just sort of nestles into those little dips in the drippy top layer, and we'll repeat the press. See how I'm peeling and the vinyl is lifting up? So I need to press for just a few more seconds. Now I'll place the popsicle stick layer. And on pieces with multiple layers like this, after I've removed all of the clear cover sheets and all the vinyl layers are in position, I do like to press one more time just for a few seconds to make sure all the layers are down firmly on the faux leather. And that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to repeat the pressing on this side of the popsicle, and then I'll show you how to glue the keychain together. So both sides of the keychain are pressed, and now it's time to glue. Before we glue, I recommend attaching the key ring. And the easy way to do that is just flip over the faux leather shape, sort of roll one side of the faux leather, and then just thread on that key ring. I'm using some fabric glue, And I'm just going to spread it on the bottom part of the keychain. You only need to put glue on one side of the keychain, and you don't want to put glue on this center part here. That's where the key ring is. Try to get the glue close to the edge, but not all the way to the edge. The glue will seep out a little bit when we press it down, and then that'll help us get a nice firm seal on the edges. So moving that key ring out of the way, we'll just fold it over and press it down. So once we've pressed it and sort of made sure that our edges are nice and lined up on the back, what we're going to do now is place this glued keychain under a heavy book to dry. And that's going to help us get a really nice tight edge on the side of the keychain. So we'll go ahead and we'll let this dry for a few hours. We'll come back and I'll show you how to assemble the tassel. So our keychain has been drying for several hours, and now it's time to remove the heavy book and take a look at the glued keychain. And we can see that really nice sealed edge. It almost looks seamless on the edges. Isn't that nice? Now, if there's any little parts that are opening, then you could use a glue with a precision tip at the top, like the Barely Art glue, and that'll help you get in a very small spot, and then you can just repeat pressing again for a few hours and your keychain will be good to go. So to attach an optional tassel, I'm just going to open up a 10mm jump ring with my jewelry making pliers, and I'm going to attach the jump ring to the tassel loop. The tassel loop is not large enough to go onto the key ring by itself, so we need to attach it with this little jump ring, and I'll just close that right back up, and there you go. I hope you like this summer faux leather popsicle keychain project. It was one of my favorites to design. Let me know in the comments which one is your favorite. Was it the regular summer popsicle, the patriotic popsicle, or the watermelon popsicle? I would love to know. If you liked this project, I have so many more great summer and other faux leather keychain tutorials using a Cricut on my channel here. Just keep watching and my playlist will begin and you'll be on to your next keychain tutorial. If you liked all of these projects, remember to subscribe to my channel and hit that bell notification and you'll be notified whenever I post a new tutorial. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.